Hello, this is Lisa Hazard with the podcast We Are All Psychic. I'm about to introduce a show, and I don't usually introduce them. The reason I'm introducing this one is because the audio is very strange. When we conducted the interview, there was no static, but as I've mixed it, and I couldn't get rid of the static. Maybe there's a way, but I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't get it out with EQ. I couldn't get it out with all my little fancy audition techniques. And so, without further ado, I will let you listen to the noise. Hello, this is Lisa Hazard and Misty Lore with the podcast We Are All Psychic. And today we have an insanely special guest. She's insanely special. She is Misty's mommy. Would you like to say hello?
Hello, everybody.
And how are you today?
Good. I am doing good.
We have a question for you, but I have a feeling Misty wants to ask it.
Okay, you insist.
I know you do.
All right, Mommy. Do you think we're all psychic? Why, yes, I do.
You do? How did you get to that conclusion? Or have you always thought that?
Well, actually, I've always known Misty was psychic.
Yeah.
Had the ability. She just had to meet you first to really get it going.
Do you remember anything from her childhood that you can remember that she might have done that made you go, hey?
Well, one in particular, when I told her I was pregnant and she was going to have a little sister or brother, she insisted that she was going to have a brother. She did not want a sister. You got her wish.
Now, Misty, do you remember that?
No.
You were wee little.
I was only like 3 or 4. Yeah. 3 or 4. I do remember when I first saw him, I knew he was going to be a boy because that's just how it was. But I remember when I first saw him, she had him back in the day. She was at a friend's house staying, and she had him in a dresser drawer.
Wow.
I looked at her and I was like, what are you doing with my little brother? I remember I was really mad about that.
Yeah. Protective.
Yeah. We had to put him somewhere.
So Misty's mommy. Well, the listeners don't know, but you do listen to this show, and you know how it goes and how the drill is. So we wanted to know, like, what are some of your experiences in life? What has happened to you that's led you to weird things, unusual spirits? Yeah. I've talked to you, but the listeners don't know. So
talk about like when you first started getting into it. Gosh, I guess I was in my 30s. I just felt lost, and I wanted something, I felt like was missing in my life. And I started reading a lot of Edgar Casey. I really like him. And there was one on like coming out of your body and trying to, excuse me, sorry. And so I decided to try that. And I started like coming out of my body to do this little, I guess they say you were attached to a cord.
Yeah.
You could go and wander around, and I started to, and I got scared and I got back in my body and I didn't try it again.
So you did astral projection? You just like read about it and tried it and did it?
Yeah.
What? I'm so jealous.
I know. Yeah. First time. I chickened out. I was afraid. But I didn't have anyone around to
know what that was. Yeah. Did you know what it was? I mean, did you know?
Yeah, I did, but I was just scared.
You thought maybe it would be something dangerous, probably, or you would know what to do. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's just nuts. Wow.
I wish I would have pursued it, but I guess I can now.
You sure can. There's nothing stopping you. So what else did you learn about when you were at that time in your 30s, when you were learning and studying Edgar Casey? And
I would just have strange things happen to me all the time. Like one day I was driving home from church and a voice in my head said, you are going to experience something later on in life and you need to keep your faith in me. and I will get you through it. So I knew when I was either 30, 40, 50, or 60, something was going to happen in my life. And when it did, when I was 40, I lost my son. And keeping my faith, really helped me. I remember that time when I was told that. And after he had died, I kept wanting to know what he felt, in his body when he died. So it took about a year for this to come through. But what happened was I had a dream one night when I was in my son's body, and I felt the pain that he felt before he died. He committed suicide. And I remember trying to get out of bed to get the gun to kill myself. And it was like something was holding me back. And then I saw him pull the trigger, and I was in his body. That was the strangest thing.
That is weird.
And when he pulled the trigger, I woke up and I was like freaking out. So I went downstairs to where he died, and I just sat there rocking, and a voice in my head said, "You wanted to know what he felt, so I let you. Don't worry about Chris, he's with me." So I knew he was with God. So I felt good about that.
That's that's really intense.
Yeah. And then another time I was in Baton Rouge, in Montgomery, Alabama, staying with my husband who was working there. And someone came to the door and said they were a policeman, and he was asking me questions. And all of a sudden he looked inside the apartment and he started backing up. And I looked back there because I was wondering, well, what does he see? And he looked at me, he goes, "I got to go." He got real nervous and left. So I feel like someone was behind me watching over me, like maybe
yeah.
Just strange things like that happen.
Yeah. Tell her what happened. What happened with that guy and what he did.
Oh, he had escaped from prison up north.
Oh my gosh.
He was posing as a police officer looking for this girl, and I guess he had found her, and it was just a big ordeal.
Wow. And so you had some kind of spirit protection, or maybe something in you.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just really fascinating.
I always felt protected. So
yeah.
This is how it has felt for me my whole life.
What do you think? What do you feel like is protecting you? Do you feel like it's God, or do you feel like it's anything in particular? Or
I feel like it's God and guardian angels.
Yeah.
And I never really felt really psychic. It's like on a need to know basis. It comes to me, but it's not like every day something like that happens. But I've just been lucky and blessed, I guess.
You know who you remind me of? You remind me of Misty when I first started talking to her about this kind of stuff a couple of years ago or so, year and a half ago. She said, she would have messages and she wasn't trying to. She would just have them and have to deliver them, have that compulsion to. And she said, I don't, it just happens. But now she's doing really it. She's making it happen for herself.
Yes.
She can call on it and work with it now.
Yes, she's doing a good job. And they went into one of her little stores.
What's crazy that we're talking about all this now? I was at work Friday, and it was me and the other girl in the office. And, we're hiring. So there's been a lot of people that have been coming in and out and getting applications and getting their last checks or whatever. And this guy walked in. And I didn't look at his eyes. I just glanced up at him, and I got this feeling like this dude is bad. Like I got chills. I almost hid under my desk. And I was like, something is not right with him, and he didn't even speak a word at this point. And so my boss was, trying to get some stuff together. Anyway, he used to work there for like 2 days and then he quit. Well, right after he walked in, one of the guys from the shop walked in about maybe 3 minutes after he did, and he never comes in there. And I thought, okay, thank God. And, there's another man here, besides this guy. And I was like, something's not up with him. And so finally she gives him his last check and he leaves. And I looked at her, and then I looked at, and the man that was working in the warehouse, when he came in, he said, yeah, that's why I came in. He said, because those 2 days that he did work, like those guys were telling him his mind was messed up and he was crazy. And so that's why he came in after him to look after us.
Wow.
But I thought that was so weird because like the feeling, it was so strong. And I was right, about it.
Yeah.
Right on spot. When that other guy came in, I was like, ooh. And then he told me that he was not in his right state of mind. I was like, well, I could feel it.
Yeah. And was he doing anything physically to show you that, or was it just you picked up on it?
No, as soon as he walked in that door, man, I just got the creepy vibes.
Yeah.
I didn't look at him directly. I didn't look at his eyes. I could just feel it. I could feel the negativity, coming off him. And I haven't felt that way in a long time, but I have definitely learned to listen to my instincts. and I was right. I was dead right on him. He was not a good person.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So does that kind of stuff happen to you, Misty's mommy? Do you have like instincts about people?
Have you ever got those vibes, Lisa?
Me? About like somebody just like, stay away. Yes. I stay away. I run away. I play dumb. I will play dumb a lot too. That will disinterest people who want to mess with you. If, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what you're
no eye contact.
Yeah. Especially be as submissive as you possibly can is kind of what I'd be, as uninteresting as I possibly can to that kind of energy.
Right. Yeah. And I think we all have that, and I can't tell you how many stories I've read or how many stories I've seen on TV about women, children, men, anybody really, not thinking that something was right with somebody. And they didn't listen to the instinct, and they either ended up dead or they ended up raped, captured, something bad happened. And I firmly believe that if you have that vibe with anybody, don't try to be nice, because that's normally what I would have done was, I'm nice to everybody. You know what? If I'm getting a bad vibe from you, I'm getting the hell away from you. And I'm not going to be nice, and I'm not going to tell you anything that you need to know. Just get away from me, because now I know that it means something. Something's not right.
Yeah, it's strange, isn't it, that you might not be able to put your finger on it, but if you really sat down and took a pen and pencil out, you probably could write down adjectives for like all the energy type things you were picking up for him, like, because he can't, like, when I meet someone like that, I don't have words for it. I'll just be like, wah, stay away, run away, disappear. Because I can't like fight that, that those people who that chaos and that just distorted reality where they see harm everywhere and, they're dangerous. It's just like, they
are very dangerous.
And that's like, it goes back to our instincts, our very survival instincts from when maybe we were sludge, it's like, crawling out of the ocean, we had to have those senses, because if we were some kind of sea creature crawling out of the ocean billions of years ago, maybe like, or I don't know how long ago, I don't know my math, I don't know math, but our very like DNA comes from creatures who had no communication skills that we know of, other than just, I kind of feel like your sensitivity with their juju sense, their energy, like that will eat me. Even if they don't have eyes, they can sense it somehow that there's something dangerous. Right.
And even like dogs and cats,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I have a friend, and she had this beautiful dog, and he was the sweetest dog. He was a big dog, and that dog loved everybody. And she had somebody come over to her house that was with somebody else that she knew. She never met that person, and that dog went crazy over this guy. And she said, I'll never forget, she said, I don't know who you are, but my dog doesn't like you. Get out of my house. And that's what she should have done. you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
I was like, go you, listen to
Yeah.
the instinct, you know,
Yeah.
because dogs have it too.
They do. And
They're
it's interesting.
animals.
I forgot to tell you this, Misty, and Mom, you might find this interesting too. When I came to your house not the last time I came, but I think one of the times I came to your house recently. And remember, my foot was still just the tendon is still a little injured, but I'm walking fine. And one of your dogs licked my foot right where it still had a little bit of a tenderness
Yes.
to it. And I thought to myself, I said to you, oh, look, she's so sensitive. She's letting me know but I thought about it. I think she was showing you my weak spot too. She was being gentle about it. She
Really?
licked it, but she looked back at you after she saw that I saw her. She looked at you to make sure you saw it. She's like,
Yeah.
just in case there's a weakness here, but we know what it is. But we like you. So I got a lick from it. So, just, I know I'm watching. That's kind of what I think was going on there a little bit.
Well, I think that she was like sensing that you were hurt.
I think
trying
both.
to let you know.
Yeah. I think both. I know I felt
like,
better when I left. Yeah.
Well, there you go. Her little magic kisses.
So, Misty, do you have questions?
Mom, what up? Yeah.
Questions for your mom.
And she's got so many cool stories.
Yes, she does.
I want you to tell the story about when I was pregnant and fixing to go have a baby, and you got a picture of somebody special in the background.
Yes, I did. I had a Polaroid camera, and I was trying to take Misty's picture before she went. I wanted a last picture for being pregnant, and I kept fiddling with the camera, and it wouldn't go off. And I got really mad because she had to leave, and all of a sudden the picture snapped after she left, and I was kind of upset because I wasted, a picture.
A Polaroid, yeah.
Right. And they were expensive, So I threw it on the table, and in a little while, I went back to it, and there was a picture of my son after he died. He was in there with his long hair and his Pantera shirt, and it just kind of freaked me out. I felt so blessed to get a picture of him after he died.
And he had like a glow around him.
Oh, wow. That's just nuts. Do you still have the picture?
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah.
On his 15th birthday, we were in Louisiana. I wasn't living there at the time, but when we went there, we were putting a rose bush behind his headstone because he loved roses. So my husband was putting water on it, and I took a picture. And when you looked at the picture, it looked like my husband was throwing smoke. Trying to put a fire out because there was this aura all around it, like smoke. And then I saw a picture of my son, Chris. He was on the outside of the cemetery looking in at us, and he had his hair in a ponytail that time. And he was just looking like he approved of us putting the rose bush there. And it was a pink one because my nephew bought it for him, but he loved red roses. And now that rose bush, every time it blooms, it's red.
Oh, oh my gosh. You have had so many magical things happen.
Yes.
That's a beautiful thing.
I've been very lucky.
It sounds like your son wouldn't let you, he just wants you to know always that he's around. He's never let you forget that he's there. Yeah. He never does.
No.
Yeah. I've always said she's so lucky to have that because, a lot of people don't
have any signs or they don't see them.
I think they get signs, but I don't think they pay attention or they don't see them. I mean, Mom could have easily threw that picture in the garbage.
Yeah.
It was just a picture of the living room, and it was dark, and you can't explain that because, you can't say, well, it was, because it was developed crazy because it was a Polaroid. It came out like that, and I even we had pictures of him in the living room. And I even was thinking to myself, okay, because I'm a realist, and I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe the reflection from one of the pictures came off into the living room or something in the light, and you shot the camera. And I tried to explain that to myself, but then in the picture, his hair's down, and in the pictures that we have hanging up on the wall, it's in a ponytail. So there's just no way it's not the same picture at all.
That's just
Yeah.
crazy. I'd love to see
Yeah.
that picture. I would love to see that.
I know. I've been meaning to show it to you, but I keep forgetting.
Yeah,
But-
I'll have to get it out. But the thing I liked about after she had her first child, Kirsten would see him all the time.
Oh.
She got about 8 months old. And I remember the first time she saw him, she just started giggling and laughing, and her head would turn and she'd look around and giggle. And then I guess when he left, she just lay back down and took her bottle. But I knew it was him because he had went upstairs first, and he had this certain knock that he would do when he was alive. You could hear him upstairs, and that's how I knew it was him.
Wow.
And she would talk to him.
Yeah. Does your daughter remember that at all, Misty? Does she have any memory of being able to see spirits? No.
No, but I know she has. And then
Yeah.
you need to tell them the story about the rose. You're missing that too.
Well, yeah, right after he died, I would put a rose by his picture, and every morning I'd find it on the floor. And so one day I picked it up and I said, Chris, I put this rose here for you. I don't want to find it on the floor anymore. And after that, it just stayed where it was supposed to.
Like the flower jumped out of the vase onto the floor in his room.
He
For
wants you to know
4
about
days in a row.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
It's a sign. You know.
Misty, do you remember when Kirsten was a baby and someone was babysitting him? Remember that story? And she kept looking at Chris's picture, and she would move away, and she'd cry, and she'd go back to the picture, and she'd shut up. You remember
She was
that?
babysitting who?
No, someone was babysitting her when she was like a few weeks old. Remember?
No.
Remember? Girl.
I know.
I just
Well, between the
remember
two
that
of you, we're
story.
remembering everything.
Yeah. So we're trying to put our brains together.
Yeah, really. Crazy.
So what Misty's mommy, what would you say is like, of all the strange things that's happened to you that you couldn't explain, that you might say is a psychic experience or has an energy base, like what's the weirdest thing that's happened?
Well,
Like,
I already told you that when I was in Chris's body.
That's the weirdest. Okay, second weirdest. That's pretty weird.
Well, one day we were coming home. My mom and dad were in the car, and we just came back from the casino. We like to gamble. But we were going around this one curve, and all of a sudden the car stopped, and it would not start. So we sat there a few minutes, and then my husband tried to start it again, and then it started, and we went on our way. Well, coming the other way was a logging truck, and he was going so fast that had our car not stopped, we would have probably been hit head on.
Oh,
So
wow.
that was another good one.
Yeah. So you are protected. Something stopped it from happening. Yeah. Do you ever consider that maybe you are doing that?
No.
That's a good question.
I just thought of it. I just thought of it, Misty's mommy. It might be some part of you protecting you.
I think so too.
Not every time. It could be a lot of things. It could be, your son, of course. And other times, maybe like situations like that, it could be you.
Yep.
I never thought of it that way. I always thought that I had about 50 guardian angels around just to protect me. But
I feel like we all do. If we want them, I guess, we can have as many angels as we ask. But,
yeah.
You didn't ask. It happened, though.
Yeah.
Well,
today we had another one. We were at what was the name of the store, Misty? Today went to buy the pendulum.
Oh, Amethyst Sage. Yeah.
Yes. We went in there, and there was one pendulum that just kept rocking and rocking and rocking. I told Misty, you need to buy that. And we came home, and it just kept going crazy.
That's so cool.
And I found out that it had all the chakra stones in it.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
But no, it was crazy, because mom usually notices stuff more than I do, but like she's got the pendulums all around. Like when I went over to the pendulums, they all went friggin' crazy.
Really?
It was like my energy scattered them. But that one was like going nuts. Like I've never seen one go as crazy as it was. Like it was going
that one was.
And listeners, if you don't know what a pendulum is, we're going to do a pendulum podcast. Misty's going to demonstrate. But a pendulum is basically just a heavy object on a string or chain, and you can divinate with it. You can ask it questions, yes or no questions. So we'll give examples of that in our podcast on it. But if you didn't know, let you know, they're pretty.
I can't wait for that one.
Yeah.
Yes, me either.
That's going to be a fun one.
We're gonna do a video too. Oh yeah, by the way, listeners, welcome to season 3.
Yes, hey, season 3.
Misty's mommy is our first guest for season 3, and so far I'm feeling pretty good about it. Yeah.
Great season. I'm excited of all the guests we have coming up as well. And we got mom here, and we never thought that would happen.
No, that's a fun thing. It just kind of happened, listeners. I saw them this afternoon, and I came home, and I was like, oh, we need mommy.
Yes.
So I'm glad.
And we got her.
Thank you. Yes.
And mom was excited too. So
I am glad. Yeah.
And we're working on a dream catcher today.
Yeah, for the portal. Okay, yeah.
There's a portal in my house.
And they had told me about their portal in her mom's house, and I remembered that Akasha had told me if you put a dream catcher near a portal. So listeners, if you don't know what a portal is, Misty will explain it.
A portal is basically something that has been opened by somebody to let spirits come and go as they please. Kind of like a spirit grand central station is kind of how I would describe it. They can come in and out in a portal. You can close a portal. Never had experience with that. I don't think I want to unless I have to. But that's basically what a portal is. And I've always known in that room that there was a portal there. And it was just one of those things where I just knew it. I wouldn't go in that room. It creeped me out. The whole house creeps me out. But
and your daughter feels the same way.
Everybody does.
I know, except me. I'm the only one.
That's because you're protected.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I have to tell you, one time Misty came over and she just stirs up everything around there. But I was talking to her on the phone, and I have this old picture of Jesus that was my grandmother's, and it was on the wall, and I was in the living room talking to Misty, and all of a sudden it started swinging back and forth, and clattering on the wall.
Oh my gosh!
And it had to have been her. It always is. But anyway, I went over to it. And I said, "Stop it!" I said, "I don't want you to break my picture. I'll be really mad." And it stopped.
Oh, so you do have some skills there. Yeah.
I guess. Yeah. But they were looking for orbs. We had a lot of pictures with orbs in them.
It sounds like you capture pictures. It sounds like you can capture a lot on camera and pictures and stuff. It just happens to you. Is that right?
Yes, I guess so.
It doesn't happen to me. I never catch stuff on pictures, but I know like some people who do. Some people do.
I do.
One of them. Yeah, you do too.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? It's funny because, like she said, when I would go, I would take pictures because, it always fascinated me, because on these orbs, you would see like faces in them. And like I said, I'm a realist. I like to explain things. And how do you explain, an orb in the air that has a face on it? Well, you can't. And anyway, so I would start things up, and then mom would have to clean my mess up when I left. But one night, tell her the story about the orb in your room.
Oh, I woke up and I couldn't go to sleep, and all of a sudden across the room was this beautiful orb. It was like a blue with purple around it, sort of a bluish purple, and it just went across my room, and I looked at it, and it went out out the door. I laid my head down and I went to sleep. And then Misty goes, well, why didn't you chase it and see where it was going?
That's why she stirs it up.
Yeah.
We'll see what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's her. And things would start falling off the wall, when after she would visit. So she's got a very strong energy.
I'm really wondering if when you go back to visit someday, now that you've been working with your energy all like a whole lot more and you've harnessed so much, I wonder how it'll be now when you win. I wonder if you would be like Mom and be able to tell it to stop if it started or if it wouldn't start at all. We'll have to find out.
I don't know.
We'll have to find out next time you go.
I don't know. Like I kind of learned my lesson and
I'm not going back.
Not to stir stuff up when I go.
Yeah.
Because, I've read that if you stir it up, if spirits know that you can see them, then they want to be seen and they'll start, acting up to get your attention.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I needed to stop persuading it to act up when I left. Because Mom was left with the damage and I was just like, I'm getting out of here.
Sounds like she knows how to take care of it.
She does.
She did raise you.
She does. I would have ran out of the damn house if that would have happened to me. She doesn't stop. She gets mad at it. And then she sees this orb and she's like, and then I went to sleep. And I was like, you did what? You went to sleep? I was like, how could you sleep with that? No. Yeah, it just kills me.
That's me.
That's my protected mom.
See?
So Misty's mom, to people listening to this podcast, if they have a child who might be like Misty was, and when she was younger and she was able to, things happened around her, and even as an adult, what kind of advice would you give the parents, like when they see that happening?
Run!
Adoption.
Well, actually, I would just sit them down and talk to them and believe what they tell you, because children don't make this up.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. That's a really good, perfect way to put it. Yeah, because they don't. They don't. They don't know what's considered not real and what's considered real all the way yet. So,
but it is all real to them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially younger ones.
Yeah.
But I was really lucky to be raised, with a mother that was interested in that. You know what I mean? Because she had the same things. She had the same gifts. And so it was, nice to be able to, talk to her about, creepy stuff like that. And she would understand, or she would want to listen, that's awesome. I think
it really is. Yeah. I think that's.
Do you remember the time when you and I and Chris were sitting around the kitchen table and we were talking about this kind of stuff, and you were talking about the dog that you saw?
Yeah.
Tell that story. That one is good.
Well, we were at that house, that creepy house, my mom's house, and we were all younger, and there were so many of us cousins, that Grandma would just basically, throw us pallet on the floor, and we'd sleep on the floor in the living room. Good times. But anyway, I woke up in the middle of the night and I looked up and I saw this massive dog with red eyes staring at me. And it scared the crap out of me. And I basically put my head over my covers and I was just talking to myself like, it's not real. It's not real. It's not real. And then I never said anything else about it. Well, years down the road, my brother was in that room too, sleeping. Years down the road, I'm talking 6 or 7 years after it happened, we were all sitting at the kitchen table and I told them about the dog and the red eyes, and my brother said, I saw it that night too. And I was like, no way. And he was like, yeah.
How big was it? Was it like the dark, like a white dog, a black dog, a Great Dane?
It was a black dog. It It was a
Oh,
black
weird.
dog
Was
with
it,
red
were the
eyes.
eyes glowing or were they just red?
Yes.
They're glowing.
No, they were
Oh,
red. It was not a good dog.
that
It
sounds
was
like
some
a
kind of evil.
hellhound. It sounds like a
It
hellhound.
was. It
That's
was.
crazy.
You know,
Yeah.
like I said, I put my blanket over my head because as a kid, you know, that's all you really know to do.
Oh yeah.
You know, I mean,
Yeah. Disappear under the
and
cover. Yeah.
right. And then when you wake up, you're like, the next day, you're like, well, that was all in my imagination. You know,
Yeah.
da 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 da. So I didn't tell anybody. But then, you know, years later, when you're in the same room with the person that saw the same thing at the same time, you know, and you're both like, wow.
That's really bizarre. I'm gonna have to read about hellhounds and see what that is. I'm curious now.
Yeah, I didn't like it. I didn't get a good vibe out of it.
No,
It was
I
from
bet.
that stupid ass portal.
Yeah, passing through the transients. Yeah.
Yes, it was. It was. It was creepy. But we could go on and on about creepy stuff.
Oh yeah, the creepy stuff. Yeah, this is the creepiest podcast we've done, other than the Halloween episode, maybe.
Yeah.
Thanks,
And
Mom.
we're just cutting the icing on the cake. Yeah. We hadn't even got to the real good stuff yet.
Do tell.
Yeah, I know. I wouldn't even know where.
There's so much. You guys have lifetimes of bizarre experiences, but like, thank you so much, Mom, for sharing some of these with us. And I've loved doing this with you, and I loved meeting with you this afternoon. Thank you so much. Any last questions, Misty, for your mom before?
Well, you know, I just want to thank my mom for always being open about the psychic side of her and always encouraging me to open that side of myself, or I probably never would have done it. She's always inspired me to do that. So I would really like to thank my mother for that.
Oh, that's so sweet.
That's so sweet. I know.
Oh,
Yeah.
And this was a fun podcast. I mean,
yeah,
like I said, I didn't ever believe it would happen, but yeah, I'm so
I know.
glad it happened, and
yes,
it's great. And thank you, Mom, so much.
Thank you, Mom. And I would also like to thank our sponsor, Everclear. Everclear.com it's also an advice app where you get your advice from empaths and psychics. And you can find the clarity you need to create the life you deserve. Speaking with the psychics and empaths for advice. That's where you go
for advice.
And that's our sponsor. They are awesome. Yeah. And the people who listen to this podcast, we love you.
Yes,
I do.
And hey, we have t-shirts and stuff for sale now too, Lisa.
Yeah, you can go to the website www.weareallpsychic.com and click on the link that says merchandise on TeePublic, and I think it takes you straight to the t-shirt We're All Psychic, but they have everything on there, and they have a bunch of art from the podcast. I have a bunch of art from the podcast posted for pillows, t-shirts, mugs, phone cases, whatever you want to make. And they have a sale, right? They have a sale, right? They have a sale this weekend. I think a flash sale, so everything's 35% off. So you get that t-shirt for $13.
Yes. Me and Lisa have one that are just alike.
Yes, we do. We're matching. And I guess any last words for our listeners, Mom?
I think we've said it all.
Okay, well, thank you again. And everybody, thank you for listening. And have a wonderful day. And thank you for visiting season 3. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.